So getting close to getting going here. Again, my name is Lars Olson. I'll be joined here by Dave Cramp and Sergey, talking about DataLark in a little bit, which is an awesome tool for translating your Process PLM data from either ECC or S4 into the cloud. But today's webinar, number 2, is really around, obviously, specification management from a Process PLM perspective. What a great new offering in the cloud from SAP. With that, we're going to go ahead and get started here 2 minutes after. And so let's go ahead and get started. Like I said earlier, from a housekeeping perspective, you'll have access to the content. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen that enables you to ask questions, and then we can either answer them in line when Dave or Sergey are presenting, or we'll do it verbally at the end of the webinar. Today's webinar, number 2 in the series, coming up in a couple of weeks here, 3 weeks. We've got webinar number 3 around formulation, and obviously getting down to the last one around packaging in RDP, responsible design and production. Again, my name is Lars Olson, a senior client partner at LeverX. I joined LeverX from a 12-year stint at SAP in SAP Solution Management, specifically in digital supply chain and the PLM space. We're joined here today by our OG, original gangster, Dave Cramp, the director of sales at LeverX, one of the first people that I became friends with after joining SAP, and obviously becoming good partners with LeverX. Dave has an extensive background, back to the original PLM 7 probably, in both discrete and process PLM. And we're also joined here by Sergey. Sergey is Director of Product Development in regards to our DataLark solution, as well as other solutions. Longtime LeverX employee, very technical know-how, and he can do awesome demos, but he's going to be presenting some information about data migration for Process PLM a little bit later in the webinar. At the lower right-hand side, you can see there's a QR code if you want to join us to this series of webinars. So we're going to talk a little bit about obviously Process PLM from an SAP perspective, a little bit around the storyline of the design to consume showcases that we're trying to create master data here from the SAP digital supply chain. We're going to get into the details around specification management. We'll talk a little bit about roadmap and architecture, and then we'll have the Q&A sessions a little bit later on. A little bit about LeverX. Obviously, everybody knows LeverX as a global system integrator. We are now celebrating our 21st year. 800 clients, obviously a large pool of employees across the globe, across 9 nations, global offices everywhere, across time zones. We're really proud to be not only a gold partner for SAP, but also a global strategic partner, which really means we are basically a development firm for SAP in a lot of ways. And we abide by all these ISO certifications. Not only are we an SAP partner, but we're also have capabilities from AWS, Google, and Microsoft. Really, those other platforms are handled by our Emeline company, which is a subset company or a company underneath the LeverX brand, which basically deals with all the development for non-SAP solutions, where LeverX is primarily focused on SAP. With that being said, we're really happy to talk about our up-and-coming event in October, LeverEdge in Miami. If you've never been to our events now in Miami, they are fantastic. We hope you will register and join us. It's an awesome time in an awesome city at an awesome time of year, where the weather is great. And downtown Miami, where we're located in the hotel, is an awesome thing. We'll be covering, obviously, AI, a huge topic, digital supply chain solutions, intelligent spend, data migration, again, S/4HANA, migrations, as well as primarily we have an event within the event called the SAP PLM Forum, where we'll be talking about particular product lifecycle management solutions as a subset within the LeverEdge event itself. So we have a dedicated agenda specifically for PLM there. A little bit more about LeverX. You probably know us again as an SI, as an implementation partner for SAP, but we're also a sell solution. What that means is we are a partner edge PE sell partner. That means we can sell SAP license and select global country and regions. As I mentioned earlier, we're a co-innovation partner with SAP, which means we develop many of the solutions that you're going to see here today or in the next webinar, specifically formulation and other digital supply chain solutions. And then obviously we build our own PLM and other lines of business solutions on top of SAP. We have a link to many of those solutions a little bit later here in the deck as well. And then ultimately, we fit the needs for any of our global customers that need to implement SAP. If you bought your licenses through SAP, you may choose to have LeverX implement those solutions in the end-to-end processes. Again, strategic gold partner as well as a global strategic supplier of SAP. So today, we're really going to talk about SAP PLM, a platform of innovation. And one of the key differentiator between SAP PLM and the other PLM solutions that are out there in the marketplace, it's a combined solution of PLM cloud suite capabilities on the right-hand side, built on the business technology platform. But foundationally, a lot of the key technical data, the things like materials, products, BOMs are stored within your ERP S/4HANA system, right? And it's a combination of the business data and the technical objects in S/4HANA combined with the business processes in the cloud that creates the end-to-end business processes that are required for both process as well as discrete PLM. And then on top of that, as you may or may not know, SAP is bringing AI on top of the cloud ERP solutions. That will be enhanced over the time. We're going to start to see some of those AI capabilities coming out in the second half of 2024, and will be part of the LeverEdge/SAP PLM forum. So if you want a sneak peek of what's happening there around AI embedded into these digital supply chain solutions, please join us. So let's talk a little bit about the SAP's PLM strategy. Specifically, when we talked about process PLM, or discrete PLM, a little bit different from the discrete side, but since today's webinars are focused on process PLM, on the left-hand side, you kind of have tools, third-party tools that are integrated into SAP PLM. Specifically for process PLM, on the left-hand side, you have things like the integration to Adobe for artwork and product packaging. We're going to demonstrate that obviously in the last webinar. But then when you get into, obviously, the design phase of design to consume, you have a series of PLM processes built on SAP PLM, built on BTP, which is a world-class integration platform, full SaaS architecture, which starts with the first couple of webinars around requirements, innovation management, requirement management, project management. We're now getting into the kind of the development phase around specification management and formulation recipe development. You manage all that data in the cloud, which synchronizes it with S/4HANA. Then you have the ability to have verification and validation, test management, and then ultimately the handover of this, in this case, of a recipe to the manufacturing and other downstream processes. So when we start to align these processes here, along with the integration between the cloud platform and your S/4HANA systems, you can see we've got innovation management, requirements management, which we covered, systems engineering, obviously on the discrete, so change management, product structure, BOM management. A big capability that we're often stressing very much in these webinars is the collaboration and the integration of collaboration capabilities throughout these end-to-end processes. Then you have, obviously, handover to service, manufacturing, compliance, test management, scaling from a process, for those, configuration management on the discrete side, and then handing over all this data to the manufacturing and operations downstream of the design phase. So really, the important takeaway here is SAP has made a huge investment of transitioning their product lifecycle portfolio from on-premise to the cloud. You may or may not know that earlier this year, that the branding for enterprise product development was changed to this SAP PLM. So when we talk about SAP PLM, primarily we're talking about these new cloud capabilities built on BTP, which allows customers to define, develop, and deliver and manage their data from a PLM perspective to realize a digital thread within design to operate or design to consume for process industries, and really accelerate your time to market for your product development throughout the extended enterprise and supply chain. So today we're really going to be talking about the design phase in the design to consume end-to-end business process within SAP's digital supply chain. Obviously, it is the first step in the digital thread for your products, where ideation, project management, requirement management, product development, both for process and discrete PLM happens, and ultimately handing over this digital thread information around your products to both planning, manufacturing, logistics. And in the case of the design to consume, ultimately these products are sold at retail or consumed within other products in the supply chain. And they don't live a long life cycle like an airplane, for example, on the discrete side. So that's why it's called design to consume. So within the product lifecycle management design processes, SAP and LeverX basically divide the various processes up into kind of 4 major buckets. We have the definition of your product, where we collect ideas, we prioritize needs, and turn those needs into requirements to capture the voice of the customer. We then go into the development of products, where we industrialize these products in sustainable innovation. That's part of specification management, obviously formulation, and then delivering these products, the handover of bombs and stuff to the extended enterprise. And all along the 3Ds, define, develop, and deliver, we're managing this product data with cost in mind, compliance, sustainability, and a collaborative product development lifecycle. Okay, so this is what we call the 3Ds and the M, where it's just basically buckets for various processes. So in the last webinar we basically covered, obviously, innovation management and requirements management. Today, in the middle column there, we're in the development processes around specification management. The next webinar, the third webinar, will focus on formulation. And then obviously we'll be talking around formulation, where this data is managed in your S4 system, how it can be used in a collaboration way, and so forth. And ultimately the integration with both product compliance and sustainability. Specifically, when we talk about formulation and specification management, these are roadmap items that we're going to showcase in the roadmap, where this tight integration with specification management and formulation will then combine the master data for product compliance and sustainability. With that, I'd like to stop sharing and hand it over to Dave Cramp.
Okay, so let's keep talking here. Specification management, the challenge, maintaining a complete, accurate, single source of truth. This is very important, because most everybody we talk to in specifications has specification data in too many places, and it's unstructured and non-controlled. There's no way you can go find the information. How does that hurt you? Well, when you have product recalls, you lose customers, and you have exposure to very expensive legal action. So if you're not in regulatory compliance, you're gonna get hit with a fine, which we kind of touch base on that next one. So you need to have your data in order. You have to have clean, organized data, and that's what specification management will provide you. And that's the next bullet: accurate information, that now you control your risk and your exposure, whether it's raw materials to your finished goods, to your packaging materials, etc. And then as you go, you can continuously monitor and resolve any sustainability issues. And there's some big sustainability issues going on in Europe now with some new plastic mandates of having to track and manage this plastic content and recyclability content. And this information, it's not food based, it's not pharma based, but it's part of what you deliver and how you have to deliver it. So let's talk about SAP Specification Management. SAP released the current BTP cloud-based specification management in November of 2023. And what is the benefit? Well, you can manage your new products there, your new product development, your new product development packaging there, regulatory affairs, just like we touched base on, sustainability, like we touched base on. What is your marketing content? You can have a single you can use this as a library to help manage your label output. It can be directly a link to procurement. So the specification can have the inspection characteristics that you need to inspect to as you procure products in, and then inspect them. And then as you inspect, as you build in your quality. So very, very tightly integrated across all aspects of SAP and your business. So what are the main areas, and it's up for debate, but, we feel, usability, SAP with this new application is really been laser focused on usability. The prior system that is out there today that many of you use, enterprise product formulation, does what it needs to do, but it's not the most glamorous application. Same thing with flexible. It was not the most flexible application. This new application is much more flexible on how you can build, manage, and push information around with it. And then the integration, you're going to see and when I get into the roadmap discussion, that the system is very integrated at the base end, and it's going to continue its path of growing the integration, mainly through the use of internal APIs that SAP has developed, but also external. So because, a lot of you have to report to third-party agencies information. So you're going to have the ability to have a system that can talk with SAP, providing you that historic benefit of SAP, which is single source of truth and full integration, and then the ability to integrate into the outside world. Some usability features and functions. We're going to see, I'm going to start off with on easy. We don't actually have it on here, but it's easy. It's much easier to build your configuration. What are you maintaining? What are you going to capture and manage in SAP specification? It's very easy now to build this. And then once you have your configuration built, you then have to populate your data. SAP's made it much easier to create and enter data into your specifications, add in documents and images, very easy to search, real language searching, manage specification versions. This is something that's brand new for the cloud-based application that you don't get as a feature in the present EPF. There's no specification versioning. SAP has heard this for a while now, and with this new application has been able to deliver specification versioning, which is huge. And then now specification compare. It's going to be an ongoing rollout of functionality here, but SAP has the ability to go out and compare many different specifications and their versions and tell you what is the delta, what are the differences between the one and others. Flexibility. Consolidate and rationalize specifications into a single source. Once again, you have the ability to take, as I said, most companies have information everywhere, and SAP's specification gives you one place to put that information, right? Multiple types of specifications. So you define what types of specifications you want to use and manage, and how you're going to use those in their role for your corporation. Define and arrange properties to maintain the integrity and specification. You will define what you need. I think really the longest part of any of our new implementations is getting you, Joe and Jane customer, to have the proper model built to best take advantage of the functionality that SAP is delivering with specification management. Integration and benefits. Obviously SAP has long been known to give a fully integrated system. And as this is at just early on in its release, there's some things that it's not doing yet, but it is on the roadmap, which we'll see of providing its integrations into many aspects of SAP. Bidirectional information exchange with the new formulation application. As you may or may not know, SAP has just delivered in June a brand new SAP PLM for formulation application that is actually been developed 100% by LeverX and is being sold by SAP. But this is a LeverX application, SAP PLM formulation application. So we've already do that. So this is something that, the baseline foundation of formulation is the specification. So when you go and adopt SAP's formulation application, you will also be adopting this specification application as well, because they work in lockstep with one another. Reference objects for collaboration. You're going to see the ability to tie in and link different reference objects very easily in the system. And then links to requirements management. If you saw or have not seen the prior webinar, we have a discussion there on how requirements management works, and that link to there will also be available within a specification management application. Okay, roadmap. So this is pretty cool. This is the roadmap of 2024. You can kind of see the green check marks. This is what's been delivered to date. And you can see things that are still being worked. So some of the things without the green check mark, substance integration of product compliance, integration with responsible design and production. So that's that, recyclability and, sustainability parts of SAP's delivering. Property configuration packages. That's just an ongoing thing. Additional support, different little pieces going there. I could put a check there as well. Supporting international standards. Once again, that integration aspect that we talked about. Coming up soon, authorization for the specification. We're going to get into authorizations. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but just a deeper level of authorization capabilities that it's going to be delivered. It's already there, but it's just the beginning step. Integration for supplier collaboration. So SAP's Ariba application with the collaboration application and specification and formulation and product structure in the SAP PLM world is there. And now, once again, it's just opening up the APIs to get everything talking to one another. Mandatory property handling. It's just the idea of being able to pick and select what you need to have mandatory in your system. So that's some 2024 highlights. 2025, no code extensibility for specification management, deeper integration into S/4HANA quality management. AI document extractor for specification. So that's using an AI tool to pull document information formed and fill out forms from the specification. Property inheritance for specifications. As I say, this is where you can have a base specification and have it's a one-to-many parent-child relationship inheritance capability that will be there. Dependency and logic definitions for properties. So, you'd be able to have one property having a logic dependency on another. Additional compliance specification capabilities. Integration of the change manager. This is a big thing. It's not in the system today, but it will be there tomorrow because SAP has its own separate PLM application called change management that is being rolled out. So that's a moving target that all the other aspects of SAP is going to be, PLM is going to be laser focused on getting built in. More compliance capability with product and raw material integration, and then customer input and requirement driven functionality for continuous feature delivery. So that's what that basically says in plain English is the ability for you, the SAP customer, to have inputs into what's happening in the specification world. In our deck, you'll see I've got a hyperlink down here to the SAP Roadmap Explorer. Let me just pull that up real quick. There we go. And what I have here is just a quick view of what that link will take you. So here you can see what has been delivered, future release. So you can see under here, let me scroll up a bit. The way this window is a little awkward to work with. I've got specification management here set up, ability to load plants, compare specs, different value, different functionalities or mass change of specification, specification APIs, future release. See, that one's not been delivered. These have been delivered. And then Q4. So this is a very easy way of looking at it. And so to look at it quickly, product, expand formula, expand all. No, I want to expand as I select. So here's specification management. Kind of just makes your up and down scrolling a little easier. Same thing with formulation. It's up here. If I go up to formulation, so here you see some of the formulation capabilities, ability to explode recipes, additional calculations, etc. So a nice, easy way of doing this. You can find everything you want, and you can also then download it to see it in a little more of a user-friendly format. But you can see this goes through Q2 of 2025. So just wanted to point that out to you because you'll have that hyperlink there. Okay. This is a way you can create and manage different sets of views. You can see create site or import site. I've created sites right now. This one you can see was created a year ago, our LeverX PLM one. It's got everything in it. And I wanted to create a more simplified user interface. So I created my own site very easy by create site and dragged the appropriate tiles in there. And so I'm hitting that appropriate functionality here. So let me go to F11 here. So here you can see I've made my own. I've got 5 tabs up here: spec management, formulation, specification management, configuration, collaboration, enterprise product structure. So what this is SAP. So formulation, this is pretty much the out of the box set of tiles for formulation. There's a whole bunch of spec tiles here. That's what you're seeing as a tile. So I wanted to kind of make it, hey, I'm really just going to be doing a couple things in specification formulation. So this is kind of what your end users can see. You can fully personalize what your end user can see, or he or she can do it themselves. And here you can see collaboration, enterprise product structure. So that I have these all turned on, but just kind of give you an idea of how the screen works and how to do that. And it's really, you come up and here, Dave Cramp, edit my home page. What are my settings? So it's all fairly, theme setting is how I want this colored, etc. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and just kind of go through a couple of ways of working with specifications and show you how that works here. I'm going to come up to find specifications. So find specifications is a nice application, and SAP is delivering a lot of preset filters. So here you can see this is our demo system. We have 82 specs, so it's nothing real huge. It's a demo system, right? But here you can come in and search, and you see a scroll bar with a lot of different save searches. So I want to just type in a word, solids. I want to look for total solids. So I want to add my filter for that. So what this is going to do, it's loading up the search filter to find percentage of total solids. I want to have total solids greater than or equal to 50. And I'm going to add that and hit OK. And then I want to then look for, what do I, a percent. So I'm gonna select percent and hit percent. Okay, I want to find total solids with greater than or equal to 50% total solids. So here, if I can move stuff out of the way, I can hit go, and the system is going from 82 to 72 or 17. Pardon me. So you can see the system quite easily helps you build and manage things here. You can see you can select individual line items. If you select, and you can see also there's visualization here. So we don't have little thumbnails for everything, but there's a lot of things we do have thumbnails for. And when you do, you can see, like whey protein has a little scoop of whey. Here's sodium hexametaphosphate. I actually brought this in. I found the chemical 3D view of that and brought that in because I just think it's cool. It's 3D. That's just me. So here's some header information you see there. That's straightforward. The header stuff is under settings. What do you want to see? So here's what's out there and how do you want to sort. So just some ways of working with the screens. If I select a couple I can compare, I can also then add copy to clipboard, or I can export and export as. Okay, so real simple window to use, real easy way of doing this. And you can also create your own. So if you build a filter, you can create your own filter and that'll be saved there. So let's go over here to manage specifications. So I just kind of want to give you an idea of how you can find specifications. Now we're going to go to manage specifications. And you can see we have a lot of different specifications. There's that 82 number again. Across the top, here's another way of searching that you can use. You can search for a term. You can search on statuses. I want to find all. I'm going to find all hiding drafts. That's another key point here is you have the ability to have a draft of a specification. So it's not actually out there. And so you can kind of see some things on this screen. If it's a draft, you can see this ingredient 5 version 2. If you'd see version up there if my drop down wasn't in the way, is in draft mode, right? You can see this SLES general cleanser is not in draft mode. Locked by another user would have a blue locked on it. Unsaved by another user, you can see that Sharon is working with 2-byte brownies. So the system is giving you some very easy information of the properties you need to work with. Here's, we have various levels of property control of what we're doing here. For specifications, one of the most important things you got to have is copy. Most people, and we find this with everybody we talk to, they don't very rarely create a brand new from scratch specification. They find what is close enough to it, copy that, and then make the appropriate edits to it. Okay, I kind of wanted to go through here. You can search by statuses here. This is your part of your configuration, your specification type. Once again, this is part of your configuration of how you're going to set the system up. You will build this, and it's fairly straightforward. It's very fast to do. Product category is just kind of a way of creating a classificational hierarchy. In old SAP Material Master parlance, that was called product hierarchy. Here you can see we have, a set of, here's our root. Then we got, our personal consumer products, and then we have processed meats, and we have baked goods here in our simple little solution. So this is a way of once again adding a layer of product category here. Mass change, there's some capabilities in there. If you go back into the master record release that we have, the release roadmap, you'll see that mass change is being brought out, and there's some specific ways mass change is being rolled out because it's such a big thing that you can mass change. SAP is slicing it into pieces and slowly adopting newer attribute functionalities for the mass change. Compare, we'll get into that a little bit later, but that's that compare that I talked about. Create from scratch, delete. If you have authorization, you can create, you can delete. Copy, there's that settings again, and your export. So what I'm going to do is just kind of come up here and just kind of show you some easy ways of looking. So I'm just going to search for way. So here you can see we have a component that's improved. So this is a base level component concentrate that feeds into both this number 5 ingredient, whey protein concentrate. Here you can see we have 2 versions. One's in draft, this version 2. You can see they're in the product category of hot dogs, and here's maintained properties. So let's go take a look at what an actual specification looks like. Here's your header data, nothing real special here, name, number, version, status, product category, other versions. So it recognizes that, hey, we are version 2 now. There is a version 1 that's related to it. Pop over to documents and just kind of show you the documents tab. Here you can see there's 3 documents. I have the way thumbnail that's just linked to it. I got an engineering change request forms XLS, and I made a little thumbnail JPEG of that same thing just to kind of show you a couple ways of doing it. A couple things you can do here. You can see 3 items. You can have different views you can save and manage here. You can search if this is very long. You can get advanced search. You can create a folder, create a document, create a link, edit your link, download your original, delete, move like from folder to folder, copy, so you can paste in other places, manage your document, check in, check out. Once again, hit the recycle bin, refresh, and sort, and then what are you seeing on the screen? So once again, very straightforward, easy way of working with these screens. Same thing in related objects. So this is where we talked about the integration capabilities of the tool. On the top subscreen, you see is collaboration. So here you can see I have created a collaboration folder called Specification Management Webinar. I created that on the 16th and has objects in it. And one of the objects in it is obviously this whey protein concentrate. And then down below, you can see there's a couple products that have been linked to it. One's called a test material, and one's called whey protein concentrate. Once again, integration into the collaboration here with Specification Management Webinar folder. And then down below, integration into the SAP S4 capabilities of your what is called now the product master. Some of us might still know that as the material master. So SAP has changed the name in the newer releases. And then over on the right hand side, you can see create, delete, copy, paste, export as well. So very easy way of working with these. If I wanted to create, you can actually just, like on the documents, I can drag and drop any document right into that screen. Here you actually have to type in the information you wish to have. Properties. So this is the nuts and bolts of specifications, the property and the property trees. So here we have the capability of looking at different types of properties. And here you see check marks over here on the right hand side of what's there, what's been maintained. Here's some descriptions. Here's a reason for change. Easy window pops over here. New version with updated protein content has been added. Here's some other things here. We also have a calculations property tree. These property trees, you can have as many or as few as you want. This will be how you work and manage them. So let's look at a couple things here. So we have like a standard composition for whey protein. It's 100% whey protein. Makes sense, right? Nutrient composition. Let's take a look at this. So in the nutrient composition here, you can see the breakdown. Calories, fats, saturated fats, cholesterol, carbs, fibers, etc., and their amounts in there. So you have different units of measure amounts of grams, calories, milligrams, etc. Once again, this is you have the capability of having any unit of measure you need there. Add and remove. So if you want to add, you can come in and add more here with an add button. So quick, easy way of doing this. I'm going to pop back out, and I'm just going to pop around a little bit. I'm going to go to manage spec. I should have just done one more back. Okay, so here I'm going to just do seasoning. And we got one coming up here, the hot dog seasoning. So ways of looking at this, I'm going to open up hot dog seasoning. And here you see the same type information. What I wanted to really show you here is in our calculation property tree, we have some standard composition capabilities here, standard composition. And so here you can see on this, this seasoning packet has mustard, dextrose, garlic, onion, ascorbic acid, oleo resin of cardamom. That's a really fancy name for cardamom oil. Extractives of paprika. I love the flourishes on how the naming conventions can go here. But here you can see on the right hand side, how proportionally this is set up in the system. So just different ways of looking at the amounts of your composition. So your nutrient values, your allergens. So you have all that type of things here, nutrient composition, qualitative wrote up. We don't have any allergens, but if we had an allergen here, I could say, hey, we got an allergen, and if I wanted to, I could add it here, etc. Core calculations, density, total solids. One of the key things here is, with this application, you have the capability of having numeric ranges, units of measures, free text screens, drop down screens. So the configuration on how you want to manage your data is totally available to you. And we can work with you as we set up the configuration with you to take it best advantage of the specification management application. Okay. I'm going to go back. Come on, top part of my screen, go back away. F11 again. Okay, there we go. F11, sorry. My screen was starting to act up. I'm going to go back to my main screen here and we're going to go a couple more things. So we've looked at managed specifications. We look at, go away. No, I don't want managed specification. Sorry, my screen is just popping around a little too much for my liking here. No thanks, go away. I'll go back to my home. Stop for a second. Sorry about that. Screen was just freaking out. Compare specifications. So this is that idea of being able to compare a number of specifications. Well, now there's a number of different places in the application that you can compare from. And this is just one of them. So we're going to go back to our good old friend, Mr. Way, and say, I want to look at these two ingredients. Okay. My reference specification. So this is if you have a number of different specifications, you can have what is the baseline you want to compare to other ones. So I want to say I want my version 2 to be my reference specification. You'll see that's actually part of that roadmap application of delivered new content here. Here we're going to say I want to look at calculations and I want to look at differences and hit go. So now what the system's doing, it's going out and doing a comparison. So here you can see our reference is version 2 of Way versus version 1 of Way. It's saying we have differences in core calculation. We have difference in density values. And in this case, what we're seeing is version 2 has a 6.26 grams per cubic centimeter density managed. And in the version 1, there's not one. You know, I could have gone in there and put 5.00 grams, grams per cubic centimeter, but you get the idea. This is a way you can come in and quickly and easily look at differences and do compares. Let's go back out to home again. I'm going to go to authorization context. So authorization context really goes to that integration capability and helping you manage and share and collaborate with application, with not only internally, but externally. So here you can see I've created one called LeverX Process PLM webinar series. And you can see I have no user groups. I have 3 users, 2 product categories, and some more information here. But if we go over here and go to header, you can see that's my header information. The users we have in here, I've got Dave, Natalia, Beth. You know, if I want to add one, I can come in here and I can add Sharon. VAUGHN. I hope I'm typing that. It's all right. So there's Sharon's Google-like search. She pops up and now I can add her. So now Sharon's added. So when I save this down here, she'll be added. Here's product categories and what you can do with the product categories. Create, read, update, delete, new version. And then same thing down here. I've added specification types of ingredient and product. Once again, very easy to go in and add. You just come in here and say what type of, let's add packaging. And I just want to create, update, new version, but I don't want to delete. Okay, just some capabilities there. And then, here's your admin, created on, changed on. I don't know why it doesn't have the created on because I created it the other day, but you can see my change on date. So this is where you internally and externally can manage how you collaborate with what data to the collaboration application. Presently, this is only working internally to a company with the application, but it soon will be able to be much more external relevant. You can do externals with this, but it has to be very trusted because this gives you that granularity of how you want to share and manage your specifications, your specification data inside and outside of your company. So let me just save that. And then I'm going to go back out to my home and go to statuses. Beth Perry, who's one of our stellar PLM consultants in the process space, loves this. So I'm going to go to her. Oh, well, look, there's Beth right there. I'm going to go to her example. So let's go take a look. And here you can see all the profiles. Here's the different statuses you can have. Here's the different actions you can have. So this is things that you build and use and define. So here we're looking at the specification standard status network. And here you can build your own status network from the available statuses you have here. And you can see the looping on, this one starts at initial, goes to in process, can go to obsolete, can go from process to inactive, and go from in process to approved, right? So you have all these capabilities of working with that, and then you go from approved to inactive to obsolete. So there's, different ways of it. Yes.
Just a quick time check. We're about 10 minutes to the top of the hour, so we got to
Yeah,
get through the DataLark
yeah,
stuff as well. So
yep. This is my last example here. Thanks, Lars.
perfect. Yeah.
Yep. So here's the transitions, and here's the specification management related objects that are with it. And then down here is translation. So obviously it's SAP. It has all the language capabilities, and you see here Beth created and changed this. But real quick, that's what I wanted to cover today. There's obviously a lot more, but that's our next steps. What we need to talk to you, and the next steps of talking to you is I'm going to hand this over to Sergey.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Sergey. Yeah, Dave, thanks for the brief introduction. So to add to what Dave said, I lead the data management services and the development of the related software solutions at LeverX. And so we have really a few minutes left, so I do my best to go really quickly. So what is DataLark? DataLark is one of our primary products in the data management space. And today I'll be briefly introduce you to how it can help you with the data migration to the SAP PLM cloud, as it's our primary subject of today's discussion. So what is DataLark in general? DataLark is a platform with focus on extract, transform, load operations for master and transactional data across all SAP applications, including S/4HANA and SAP cloud applications. It can connect to any types of data sources and targets, SAP, non-SAP systems. The key aim is to streamline adoption of the SAP solutions and simplify daily operations for the business users. Next slide, please. So there's a number of popular use cases that we came across, and we see popularity across our customer base as well. They are split into two groups, data migration on the left side and data integration on the right side. The difference is that data migration is usually a one-time event for kind of a specific set of applications. And data integration, on the other hand, is an ongoing data flow that can run in the background continuously 24/7. As you can see from the list, DataLark can cover a wide range of cases, starting from the general application migrations, for example, from SAP ECC to S/4HANA private or public cloud, migration to SAP cloud applications such as SAP PLM, and also more advanced cases such integrations with external warehouse management systems, e-commerce platforms, MES systems, and so on. So DataLark comes with a diverse and extensive set of customizable connectors that cover any types of data sources and data targets. You can see them on the left and right side of this diagram. That includes databases, files, SaaS and on-prem applications, and many more. DataLark also has a powerful transformation functionality. You can see it in the middle part of the slide. That helps you to easily transform, filter, join, enrich, and validate data in all possible ways and forms. Integration with the general AI, you can see at the bottom, allows you to configure and execute data flows by just instructing the system in plain language without need to, for knowing the technical aspects of the data flow. Next slide. Thank you. DataLark provides flexible deployment options. You can see on the slide left and right. On the left side is the desktop, the option to install it as a desktop application for smaller projects. For larger data sets and volumes, it's normally deployed on the server or on-prem, or as a cloud service in the SAP cloud or other cloud providers such as AWS or similar platforms. Yep. So one of the key benefits of the product, apart from the advanced set of SAP connectors and pre-built templates, is the user interface. The UI is designed for business users in mind. You just need to be familiar with this single screen, basically. On the left side, we have connectors, or so-called plugins, the building blocks for your data flows, the central parts of the canvas where you design your data migration flow. It's all drag and drop. The mapping between data sources and data targets happen by just connecting the fields with the mouse. In this particular case, we have an example of a project for loading specifications to SAP from an Excel file. Same we have for recipes. Apart from Excel, the source of the spec data can be practically anything, including non-SAP legacy PLM systems. I know that a lot of companies run also non-SAP PLM solutions. So DataLark can connect to them directly. You don't have to go through the files. But if you prefer the files, it can be done through the files as well. Next slide. So in case of if transformation of the source data is needed, because it's actually a frequent case, if data comes from non-SAP systems specifically, a transformation step can be included at any point of the data flow from the previous screen that you saw. The transformation rules can be created by either using this graphical editor or by importing a rule from an Excel file. So we can have flexibility. The rules can be of any complexity. It can be used not just for transforming, but also by validating and filtering data. Basically, that's the primary way to prep data prior to sending this data to SAP. And so as a conclusion, so we have a really short time, we won't have the live demo, but as a conclusion, DataLark is a comprehensive platform designed to streamline data transfer for mastering transactional data across all SAP applications, including S/4HANA and SAP Cloud applications, and its user-friendly interface and customizable connectors, obviously, for SAP Process PLM specifically, make it an essential tool for handling your data migration projects. That's all from my side. Thank you.
All right, so we're getting close on time here. It's about 3 minutes to the top of the hour. I think Dave was going to talk a little bit about essentially a couple of screens here.
Yeah, I'm going. I think this is really the important one. So you'll get this in your deck, and we just talked about DataLark. In parallel, we have other things like our integrated process solution workflow application, very powerful, easy to use, easy to deploy workflow application. Our BOM material master allocation extension application tool really helps you build your SAP material master product masters very fast and simple with a set of a rules-based workflow driven engine. And IQ series is just some of our easy to use user interface tools that we've developed. So I think with that, if anybody has any questions, please make sure you put them in chat and we can answer them right now.
So there's a question, can ingredient components have more than one descriptor? Currently, we use the descriptor as a label name to build our ingredient statement. Great question by Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon, I've not played around with the system enough that I can truly answer that, because I know back in the old EPF, there was many ways you could actually add in descriptors. I haven't answered that, but what we will do is I will answer that and put this question in this deck with the appropriate answer.
All right, so obviously you've heard from Dave, Sergey, and myself. Our contact information is on the slide deck. We're also all on LinkedIn if you want to contact us through LinkedIn. On the right-hand side is the QR code to the webinar series. And again, remember, LeverX is the first week of October. We hope to see you there. Have a great day. We look forward to seeing you on the next webinar sessions and so forth. And on behalf of the LeverX team, thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.